Hi, I'm Jeff Burkhart, Career Bridge Architect here at Bridgeway International. Recently, I got to speak at the Tech Fest live event here held at the Dynamo Stadium in Houston, Texas. It was an opportunity for youth all around the region to come together to learn about STEM careers, STEM environments. They got to be exposed to different career opportunities, speak to vendors. There were hands on exhibitors that allowed them to see and experience what STEM careers and the diversity of STEM careers would look like as they continue to think about their career opportunities. So, youth from all around the region came, heard a variety of speakers who are interested in helping them to understand what that would look like, from colleges and universities to Dynamo staff. And I had an opportunity to present to hundreds of students to talk to them about what it would look like once they were then hired in these STEM careers. What would it take to get them to the next levels? Because it's a competitive marketplace. So, what was going to allow them to stand out? And so, what we did was provide some real tangible skills to help them take that interest knowledge that they had and put that into real practice to help them land potential internships. And then, once they had those, into careers and opportunities. And so we walk them through a framework that I'm going to walk you through now to help you if you missed that opportunity, or maybe if you were there and were seated in the room and didn't really get a chance to see the visuals that we presented. So this will give you an opportunity to take advantage of the presentation that we shared. We received a lot of positive feedback from the students who were there. There was a lot of really positive interaction. And so we're grateful for that. And we're excited to share that with you now.
All right, welcome to the Tech Fest Live Tech Skills for the Real World presentation. This was first presented to the Tech Fest Live students at Tech Fest. So if you were part of that, welcome back. For those of you who are not in attendance, I hope you enjoy the presentation that we did. First of all, to begin with, my name is Jeff Burkhart. I'm the Career Bridge Architect here at Bridgeway International. I have spent a number of years, over 15 years, working with individuals and organizations. I've done over 6,000 presentations to individuals, done consultations, helping them understand what are the skills needed for them to succeed at the next level in their career transitioning, and career changing. I've also worked with business and industry, finding out exactly what are the skill sets that are lacking, what are the skills gaps that are needed in order to help them as an organization, as employers, help their employees grow. And so what you're going to hear today is information from real world perspective. This isn't just myth or um, something that we just made up. It is actual based in fact. And the reason that this is so critically important is because the workplace is very competitive. And so you want to be able to look for something that will set you apart in the marketplace and help you be successful. So the fact that TechFest Live was presented to individuals who are looking for STEM careers, science, technology, engineering, and math. The important thing is to ask yourself if you're part of or interested in careers in science. That could be space exploration, like in NASA, the Artemis missions, Mars rovers. It can be things like medical breakthroughs, live wearable monitors, robotics, surgery. It could be in technology, AI powered tools and cybersecurity, game development, coding, AR, which is augmented reality, or virtual reality, even engineering fields. Look at robotics and drone engineering, better athletic gear for pro athletes, designing roller coasters, something fun, creating smart homes and clean energy. 3D printers are printing homes. And then there's math. Those are things like sports analytics or predicting algorithms for business, for weather, for all types of things, building algorithms for things like TikTok. But what you'll notice is that in an environment where there were over 400, probably close to 600 kids, young adults who were interested in STEM careers, the important thing is that as you looked at all of those people that were there, there has to be a differentiator. There has to be something that says, hey, what allows me to be set apart? What makes me stand out in a crowd? And one of the realities is that you're not alone. There were people in those rooms. There were people all over that stadium that were people just like you. They were looking for careers. They're interested in STEM. They're interested in science and robotics and gaming and problem solving. And here's the reality. There is a place for everybody in STEM. It is changing the world. But here's a really important question I want you to think about. Who gets to build the future of STEM? Who does? Who's part of that future? And the reality that I want to talk to you about today is we want to make sure that that is you. And the reason is because in a world where there's so much competition and there's so much uh, opportunity, bar has never been set so low for you to be successful. And in order to do that, it doesn't take a tremendous amount of extra effort. It just takes some effort. And that's what I want to talk about is how do you move yourself to the front of the line? And how do you get there? So that's what I want to visit with you in a few minutes that we have together. And I asked this in a live setting. I said, why do you think that most people lose their job? And it was amazing the feedback. So many of them talked about behavioral issues. They talked about not liking what they did. They weren't happy with the opportunities that they were given. It was about bad attitudes, showing up late, all of the really what we would call non-technical things. And I thought that was so awesome and amazing because in reality, that was it was true. It's not the skills that gets people fired from their job. It's their behavior. It's not showing up on time. It's the power skills. That's why they matter. It's not showing up when they need you to be there. It's not doing your part. The communication, professionalism, time management, those are the things that are going to help you to stand out. And so while STEM is going to get you there, there's going to be other things that are going to keep you there. So technical skills are going to get you in the door. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding of the environment, the skills that you need to get the job, to get the internship are going to be what you need to get in the door. But it's going to be these power skills, these communication, this professionalism that's going to keep you there. And so these are why these are so critically important because it's going to be the thing that sets you apart. And then we pose this question, who wants this person on their team? And I put this person up there because all of us have been around people who, if you've ever been a part of a group project, everybody's required as part of that group project to do a piece of it. But do you often find that there's usually one, unfortunately, maybe two people in a group who don't really pull their weight? They don't really do all the things that are necessary and needed in order for the project to get done or completed. And who wants that person on their team? Who wants a person on their team that doesn't show up on time? Who isn't there when they need to be? Who's late for meetings? Who blames others for their mistakes instead of taking ownership of what's going on? They don't meet deadlines. They're not organized, and that problem's communicating. Again, nobody wants those people on their team. And you ask yourself, what does this have to do with STEM? And it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with it, but it has so much to do with it. And as the young adults who shared that day shared back to us about how important these things are, and they recognized that it wasn't the skills that got you fired from a job, it was these things. Why is this important? Because if you can learn to master some of these basic skills, the reality is that you are going to be far away ahead of your peers. You're going to be far and above the individuals that you work with as you grow. Because as AI, as technology begins to grow more and more, and you use it to supplement and augment opportunities, we're going to be looking for individuals who can be replaced on teams. And if your passion is science, technology, engineering, or math, and you have a compelling reason as to why you want to get in that field, and you're not a person that's willing to do the work to get there and stay there, they may be looking for someone else to continue to do that. And so the focus in the few minutes that we have remaining is really just to focus on a couple of key areas: communication, professionalism, and time management. And I started off with a fun and simple exercise, and it was this. If I asked you in 6 months or in a year to remember these three words, woman, apple, seven, I asked for a show of hands. I said, who could remember these in a month? Who could remember these in 6 months or in a year? Now, of course, there were some people who raised their hand and they said they could do it because they said they had really good memories. But I would imagine for the most of us, if we said, remember woman, apple, and seven in 1 year, most of us aren't going to remember. Most of us don't remember what we had for breakfast just a few days ago. But if I told you that there was a woman who ate an apple and there were seven dwarfs, your brain immediately, as soon as you saw this image, you thought of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Even if you weren't familiar with the story, you were familiar enough with it, the imagery, to be able to put that together. So then, now that you have a story, an image story around it, it makes it a little bit easier to understand what's next. So that was the introduction, because your brain remembers a story once it's given context much faster. And that's how people will remember you. Not because you know 10 things or not because you've listed all these things that you've done or you want to do, but because you're able to present a clear, simplistic picture. And that's what I wanted to talk to them about and talk to you about as well, is a 30-second introduction. And the 30-second introduction really boils down to three things. It's your name, what you're good at, and what you're working towards. Now, in the end of this presentation, there'll be a QR code, and you can download this worksheet that I have for you that was available to that day as well. So you can download that and work on this and practice it, and you're welcome to send it back to us, and we'll work on it with you together if you'd like to help perfect it. But really should just be as simplistic as your name. If you don't know what you're good at, yeah, just ask yourself, what's something that people always ask me to help them with? What are the types of things? What are the subjects or skills or tools that you really like? What kind of problem do you really want to solve? Why do you want a career in STEM? Start to think about those things. And in 30 seconds, you can use this to introduce yourself, your name, something that you're good at, something that um, that you're working towards, a goal, a dream, a problem that you want to solve. So what's your name? What are you good at? And what are you working towards? So let me give you a couple just for fun. The first one is, it says, "Hi, my name is Amber, and I like learning new technology. I'm interested in AI and robotics to help people in real life, not just online. You see, ever since my cousin got a wearable heart monitor, I wanted to build technology to support lives." That's a story that people will remember. And the more you go to events like TechFest Live, like STEM events, and you introduce yourself to vendors and you start to tell your story is remembered. And as you tell it, they may remind themselves, hey, you know what? That's an individual that wants to be in robotics. They have a passion for that, and we have an opportunity for them. Another one is, I'm Jeff. I've always been curious about engineering and about science, and I want to prevent homes from flooding during a hurricane like mine did during Harvey. Now, if you're in the Houston area, that's something that many Houstonians obviously can relate to that were here during that time. But if not, maybe there's a natural disaster that your environment or your area deals with and faces, and that's something that's really relatable. Recently, there was a story about a gentleman who built a 10-story building, and it was designed to withstand an earthquake. So you can see that the story that you tell, as it's told, can come back and really help people to do that. And so think about your story, what it is that you want to say, and use it in places to practice, not just in job fairs, not just in, uh, you know, uh, in tech events, but use it as often as you can. Get good at it, because the more you get good at it, the better you're going to be. So your name, what you're good at, and what you're working towards. Again, the worksheet that we'll provide later for you has the information if you want to go over it. So again, we want to just make it as simplistic and easy as possible. So you're not the lazy person. We've already identified you're here, you want a STEM career, you have a story to tell. You're good at certain things, you have a problem that you want to solve, and you've been telling that story over and over again. And guess what? You got an internship. Congratulations. And now you show up to your internship. It's 8:45 in the morning. You're supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, but you know what? You're a go-getter. You're eager. You want to be there, and you're always on time. 15 minutes early is great to be on time. So now you have some questions. You show up, but guess what? The person that you're supposed to meet is nowhere to be found and you're not sure what to do. So you have some options. What are those? Number one, you can grab your phone and start scrolling. Number two, you can find a seat and wait for somebody. Number three, you can ask someone for help. Number four, wander around looking busy. I like that idea. Wander around. It's a great, interesting place. You got an internship there. Let's just look around and look busy. And the last one is you hang out for a few minutes and then you go home. So again, which of these do you think is the right answer? Just think about it for a minute. Take a look at those again. And of course, the right answer is number three. Be proactive, speak up, and ask questions. It shows leadership. You see, people are looking for individuals to stand out. And like I said a moment ago, it doesn't require a lot of extra effort. Being proactive, speaking up, and asking questions is an important part of leadership and growing. When you're young and you're in school, we have a tendency to not want to raise our hand because we don't want to look foolish or silly and have the wrong answer. But as you grow and become more and more of an older adult, it's very important that you set yourself apart. And one of the ways you do that is by speaking up, is by asking questions and getting clarity. It could be something as simplistic as, "Hey, I'm Jeff. I'm here for the internship, and I'm not sure what to do. Am I in the right place?" You know, it shows initiative. Even if you're not sure, am I in the right spot? That little sentence alone can save your reputation because it shows proactivity. Sometimes I've been in positions where my bosses have used these tactics to test and see what people would do in unique and not um, structured environments. What would happen if we threw them a curve? Because in the types of fields that you're going to go in, there will be times that you're going to deal with situations and people that are going to throw you curves, that there are going to be things that you don't expect. So being proactive, asking questions, and speaking up is going to show your ability to problem solve, to challenge yourself, equip yourself, and ask questions. So I hope that helps. So we'll set the stage again. You have been practicing. You went through and you have your little pitch and you've been presenting it. You were at an event and they really liked you and they invited you to this internship. You came to the internship. No one was there. You spoke up, but you know what? Eventually, you found the right person. They brought you in and you started doing the things that you needed to do. Guess what? What's the first thing that happens? Conflict. Conflict is inevitable. Conflict is a part of every part of life, at home, at school, at work, in internships, and even in your job. So learning to handle it the right way is really important because you want to make sure that you handle yourself in a professional way. Again, because you don't want to be that person on the team that people don't want to work with because as the team shrinks or as opportunities come available to be put on other teams that may be more fun and exciting as you grow and learn, you want to be the person that people want on their team. So conflict happens. Professionals don't explode. They speak up in the right way. And there's a way to do that. And you have to understand, especially if you're a young person, there will be times that older adults may not want to hear what you have to say, or they may not give you as much opportunity as someone else. They may not understand your depth of knowledge or interest or whatever. And so you're going to have to work a little bit harder sometimes to show that you really do have that knowledge, expertise, and understanding in order for you to get your point across. And there's a couple ways to do that. So the scenario that I want to put forth is, let's say you're in a meeting and everybody's getting called on, but no one's calling on you to give your opinion. And you can use this phrase, "I noticed and I feel and can we," to help you. So I noticed, I feel, can we will help you get your feelings across, get your point shared. But I'll start with this. The very first thing you do is in a professional environment, whether it's through Zoom or it's in person, is you pull that person aside and ask for a few minutes. Never in front of a group setting, never in front of everybody. Because as soon as you do that, it puts them on the defensive, and as soon as somebody comes at you with something, you are already on the defensive, and it never ends well. It always produces conflict. Find an opportunity at the end of the meeting or at the end of the Zoom call message them immediately. Say, hey, do you have a couple extra minutes? Can we jump on a call? I have a question. I need some clarification on a couple of things. And then that's what you do. You can say something as simplistic as, I noticed you don't let me share my ideas in a meeting. I feel, see, it's an I statement. I feel, it's not a blame. I feel unheard, like my opinion doesn't matter, because that is exactly how you feel. If you say something different, like, you never call on me, I don't think you like me, you see, it's accusational. This is about you. I noticed, I feel unheard, and then can we? So that's a collaborative, hey, can we do something together? Can we split time so everyone can share? Or can we have an opportunity to express how we are interested in these positions or in this thing? So I noticed, I feel, and can we? And this is an opportunity for you to put these skill sets into practice. How can you use these? And this is something that you can use not just in your work, but also in life. So, one thing you may have noticed is that what we did today is we did it as a story. So, hopefully, this will help you remember as you go through this process. You provided a 30-second elevator pitch. You talked about who you are, what you're good at, and what you do. We then went to the next part of the story is that it produced for you an internship or a job opportunity, which then led you into a meeting where there was conflict and how you handled it. So, based on those three things that we talked about, what's one thing that you're going to work on? And while we'd love to say that, hey, I can work on everything, what's one thing that you can actually work on? Pick one of those things. You'll have that available on the worksheet for you, so you can have that. Again, during the live event, we went back to have the opportunity because of time. We were going to go back and spend time and actually go through this 30-second intro so that individuals had the opportunity to work on that. But unfortunately, time did not allow for us to do that. Here's the QR code that I promised. Let me move myself out of the way. Take a moment and you can pause this video. Take a snapshot of that QR code. It'll take you to a link. This presentation, copy of this presentation will be there for you to review, to share with those who may not have missed it, or excuse me, those who may have missed it, who may want to watch it. Again, also the resources are there and available for you. One of the things that I did not mention during the live that I'll mention here is that you will see a link as well on the site to one of the resources about how to make a phone call. One of the things that we want to do is make things practical and as simplistic as we can. And so we put on there a resource to help you if you're nervous about making phone calls about internships or opportunities. It's just a way for you to help get over some of those nerves and to do that. So those are the resources that we have available for you. There's also something I put on there called First Job Toolkit as well. So you have access to another resource uh, on the website called the First Job Survival Kit. You're welcome to have access to that. And How to Call Like a Pro is the free lesson that we put on there for you as well. So I hope this was helpful. If there's anything that we can do for you, that's our responsibility to support you in any way we can. Otherwise, thank you for your time and attentiveness, and we'll see you on the next time.
All right, hopefully that was helpful for you. You got a chance to see what we presented, and if you were there, to really reinforce the things that we talked about and shared. You saw the QR code. I hope you paused and took a moment. If not, it's here for you on the screen. You can take a moment and scan that QR code, get the notes that I referenced throughout the presentation. There's other resources there for you that are free. We'll add some additional resources to help you in your career. If there's anything that we can do for you along your journey, please don't hesitate to reach out. Our goal at Bridgeway International is to really help you grow in your career. Our career and workforce readiness program was designed specifically for young adults to help you succeed and thrive in the workplace. Not just get hired, but really take the next step and excel. Like I said in the presentation, it's just one little step that's going to separate you from everybody else. And if you're ready to take that next step and we can be a part of that process, we're here to do that. Otherwise, thank you. We'll see you next time.